Hello, and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to another deep dive episode.
Yes, this time we're going a little further back into the iconic K-pop histories for this week's group.
Yeah, going back to a second gen, very long-lasting, record-breaking long-lasting girl group that is the Brown Eyed Girls.
Yay! Also known as B.E.G. Why did we choose the Brown Eyed Girls to do our deep dive? It might seem a little random, but what's your reasoning?
I just felt like they were in the news when I had put them on the list for deep dives earlier in the year. They had a comeback earlier this year, and I think I was like thinking of timing it around then. But I just feel like the Brown Eyed Girls are just like such an important second gen group that really did like make an important mark on K-pop, and like we would not have Mamamoo without Brown Eyed Girls.
Definitely.
And like, I don't know, I feel like they just kind of get forgotten a lot when people start like listing important second gen groups and whatnot. And like, I don't know, they're very talented, and I just don't want them to be lost in the halls of K-pop history.
That's totally fair. I feel like they are a group that has like a much more controversial history. And so it's interesting that they seem to usually get sort of left off the list of like that second gen, most influential girl groups. But they were very successful for almost their entire career. It's not like necessarily one of those sad stories that we sometimes get with these deep dives. But yeah, I feel like we just had a moment where we were like, they don't get talked about enough.
Right.
So
and I
we
think,
decided.
Yeah,
there's
there's so many things that are very interesting about Brown Eyed Girls that we'll get into today. But like, they debuted much older than people usually debut. And they like did have a very like scandalous image. And there's also a lot of gay stuff in their music videos. And like, I don't know, there's a lot to talk about. And I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough.
Well, then let's dive in. Should we have some basic facts up at the top?
Absolutely. So yes, as we said before, Brown Eyed Girls, also known as B.E.G, they are a 4-member girl group that debuted in 2006 under a company called Nega Network. Brown Eyed Girls' official fandom is called Everlasting, and their fandom colors are black and yellow. Again, this is pre-fancy names for fandom colors.
They're just simple black and yellow. They are still together today. Like you mentioned at the beginning, they did have a 2020 comeback, which we'll get to in the timeline. But just some statistics, like we like to throw the numbers out there at the beginning. They have 12 awards, 28 nominations from just their first 4 years of their career, 2006 to 2010. They have 12 music show wins, 7 albums, 3 EPs, 18 singles, 1 greatest hits album, and they are one of the top 5 artists with the most digital hit songs in all of K-pop.
Amazing. That's all great stuff. We usually do this in deep dives. What was your like personal understanding or knowledge of Brown Eyed Girls before we got into this?
I think that my understanding of Brown Eyed Girls came from Guyan's solo career.
Same.
I think that I knew her as a solo artist first before I got into, or before I even heard of the group itself. But then I also, I didn't know that much about their discography. I never really, I knew who Guyan was and I knew who the Brown Eyed Girls were, but I never got into their music, which was funny. Then doing the research for this, I was like, oh my God, I love all of their music. Why haven't I been listening to them before? But for a really long time, I only knew them for Abracadabra, to the point where I always think
That's the name.
Yes, I used to think their name was Abracadabra, because I would just like I could like see the title of it in my head. So that is kind of like all that I knew of the Brown Eyed Girls. I actually didn't know that they were still together until I did the research for this.
Yeah, I was surprised by that fact too, because I guess I just like assumed, and I might have even incorrectly said on the A-Pink episode that A-Pink was the longest lasting group at this point, from that generation, because I thought everybody else had disbanded. Yeah, but I think my familiarity was very similarly Gaian based. I also knew a lot of Narsha's solo work as well, so I like knew them as soloists. But like as far as I knew, I thought that Abracadabra like was their only hit, and that the members were just famous on their own. And that
I think that's kind of what I assumed too, because Abracadabra was the only title of theirs that I did know. So I just sort of assumed that that was the only thing they really like had behind their name, but it's not.
Yeah, but yeah, listening to all this stuff today, like a few of them were more familiar than I thought. But also it's like very catchy music, and like we'll get into it in a second, but like I do think they are one of the stronger like vocal groups out there, as far as like, the level of vocal talent that the three singers and the rapper in her skills as well. Like, I think they're just like good at what they do.
I agree. They're really, really good singers. There's just like such strong vocals all across the board in this group. And I feel like because Abracadabra was the title of theirs that I knew the most, I didn't realize like what kind of like heavy vocal
That there would be like so many,
like big band music. Yeah, I didn't think, like you said, we wouldn't have Mamamoo without this group, which is like very accurate, I think. And I had no idea that they also made that kind of music, because Abracadabra is more like electro, and it has some funky vocoders and like voice filters on it. And for the most part, this is a group that really does focus on their incredible vocals, which is always our favorite thing.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get into their music. But first, we have to meet the members.
Yes. So we have to meet the members, especially because in Brown Eyed Girls, they're one of the most, I think, impressive little it's not a statistic, but like claims to fame, I guess, is that they are to this day the longest lasting girl group with no member changes in the history of K-pop.
Yeah. It's totally crazy. Like, they have been together, and there are only 4, so statistics were on their side. But still, like, I mean, we so often pull up these random game groups that have 14 past members, like,
or even a girl group like
A-Pink is missing in members.
Like, they don't necessarily end with the same number that they started with. But Brown Eyed Girls did. So who's the leader?
So our leader is Jea, Jea, but I am unsure about how it is pronounced most of the time, because it's like the Korean is Jea, but in all the songs when Mirio does her like intros of them, she says Jea. So like, I don't know but it's like, it's not A in Korean, it's ah, but I don't know if it's like Jea, because it's usually written with English and not written in Korean.
And I wonder if the J.A. is almost like a nickname of her stage name, because it's romanized, capital J, lowercase e, capital I, capital A. So maybe she's calling her J.A. like the initials would be.
Not sure. But Jea is the leader and the main vocalist. Her birthday is September 18th, 1981, and she was born Kim Hyo-jin. Jea is the first member and essentially the creator of Brown Eyed Girls. She was like a singer of her own right, and then put together a group of like a girl she knew from high school, and a very talented underground rapper, and a girl who had just failed a K-pop audition and was crying in the bathroom. It's like a movie story of like wrangling everybody. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, she got to be heavily involved in picking all the other members, and maybe that was a bit of a secret of their success, why they stuck together this whole time.
Yeah, and if you watch Produce 101, you might recognize her because she was one of the celebrity trainers on that show. And I feel like it's not too hard to tell the members of Brown Eyed Girls apart because there are only four of them. But
True.
Jaya's voice is like a little bit like raspier than Narsha's is. And so that's easy to spot. She also, I feel like her upper lip area is so distinctive. I can't figure out
Yes.
why,
I
but
wrote
it's
that
like
down
the
too.
thing that
She has a really, really deep Cupid's bow. It's like very like the her upper lip is
Philotrum or whatever.
longer
Yeah.
than like, and her bottom lip is really big, and then her Cupid's bow is really pronounced. And she has like the roundest face in the group. That all four of them have very different face shapes, and she has like the roundest face.
Yes, that's true. Also,
She
a fact, just like a fact about brown eyed girls' faces that must we get out, like put out on the table right away, is that over the last 14 years, all four of them have changed their faces quite a bit. So, like, just
Yes,
know that's a
very
fact. They're
true.
very open about it, but it's a fact.
You'll see it as you peruse their years. Jaya has 14 song credits for both her own group or her members individually, but also for singers Ailey and B1A4. She has 2 solo EPs of her own name, and she is on both Instagram and Twitter. Her handle is JEA World, all one word.
There you go. And then next in line is Mirio, and that she's our main rapper and also a vocalist. Her birthday is November 2nd, 1981, and she was born Jo Mi-hye. And like I just said, Mirio was originally an underground rapper in a collective called the Honey Family. Her rap persona name is Jo Honey. And her very impressive credit is that she is the only woman in the top 10 list of idols with the most like copywriting credits. As of 2018, she had 92. I couldn't find a more updated one than that, but she's like the most prolific female idol for
As a
writing.
songwriter.
Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. 92 song credits. She has a lot of those song credits are for Brown Eyed Girls, but she only has 1 solo EP. She has 11 singles, so that means a lot of the songs that she's written are for a lot of other artists, like not just herself or even her members. She is on social media a lot. She's on Instagram and Twitter. Her handle is Mirio, aka Jo Honey, all one word. And then she has a YouTube channel as well where she puts like a lot of her music and things like that. And she, I feel like, has such a distinct face.
It's so
I feel like
small and like, but she has
she
like
has a
beautiful like cat eyes and like
she has a very like square jaw, like the corners of her jaw are square and then her chin is pointy, so she has that like perfect little like dink. And yeah, her whole face seems like a little bit wider set than the rest of the group. I feel like she has really distinctive eyebrows.
yes, the
Something about
eyebrows
her
are so
line,
distinctive.
this like part of her face,
Yes.
her eyes and her cheekbones and her eyebrows.
But
Very
she's also
distinctive.
very easy to spot because she is the only rapper and she's the only one who raps. And she has a very distinctive rap voice, which we'll hear in the clips today. But yeah, she's the only rapper. So like she's pretty easy to spot for that. But she also often was wardrobed in like pants and like slick hair and like kind of tough girl energy.
Yeah, she has more like masculine styling than the other girls do. Maybe because she was the rapper.
Perhaps. Next in line is Narsha. She's the lead vocal and the lead dancer, and her birthday is December 28th, 1981, and she was born Park Hyojin. Narsha is a very well-known variety MC and OST singer. She's had like a very large career outside of Brown Eyed Girls just being a TV personality. So you might recognize her from that.
Yes, she's on TV all the time. She is also on Instagram and Twitter. She has more complicated usernames. Her Instagram is Narsha81 and her Twitter is FlyX2NAL because her stage name Narsha means fly.
Okay.
She is also on YouTube. She has her own channel. She has released some solo music, not a lot of solo music, but she has one solo EP and 3 singles. And she's the only brown-eyed girl to be married.
Yes.
She married a fashion businessman named Hwang Taekyung in 2016.
Yes, a married girl. Yeah, Narsha sings, early recommendation. Narsha sings the classic song I'm in Love, sung by many a sweet idol boy and girl when they are trying to sing a sweet song. It's a sweet song and it's very good.
She has, I think that she and Jaya look kind of similar,
do.
but she has a longer face than Jaya does, and it's more triangular. Like she has wide cheekbones and a thin chin, and like her eyes are closer together than
Yes.
Jaya's are.
She is also
And she has really big boobs.
Yes, she's also always tanner than everybody. So you can pick her out from that too, because she's always tanner than everyone. And she was also the one most likely to have a wig on in a music video.
Yes, she is the one most likely to have a wig on.
So our last member is Gain. She's the main dancer, the face, and the maknae. And here's where the big age gap comes in. Gain's birthday is September 20th, 1987.
Yes, all the other members are born within just a few months of each other, all in the same year. And then she is a full 6 years younger than all of them.
Yeah. And Gain became best known to the Korean public in 2009 when she starred with 2AM's Jo Kwon on We Got Married. They were an extremely popular We Got Married couple. They were on the show for over a year. And that made her like super famous, and all of her solo work kind of steamrolled like after that.
Yes, she's a very, I would argue, the most popular or like most successful of the solo artists coming from Brown Eyed Girls. She has 6 EPs, 16 singles, and 9 collaborations or like featured appearances on different songs. She's also been in 3 different movies. Some of the other girls have done acting as well. And she is only on Instagram. Her Instagram is Songgain87.
Yes, and I feel like Gain is one of the easy, like she's very easy to spot because she always had short hair, always. She always had bangs. They became an asymmetrical one eye bang at a point. But like that was always, I always just feel like when I think about Gain, I think of just like very strong, like eye, like bangs and like dark eye makeup and just like, I don't know. And just like one sneaky eye, like peeking out of her bangs drama.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a long face, always short hair. That was like the only thing I wrote for her. And she has almost like, she has smaller eyes than the other members because they're almost like long horizontal rectangles.
Yeah. They made fun of her on We Got Married a lot and said that she was like a person that you could like blind with a piece of floss. Like that she just had like little line eyes so that you could, that she would see
terrible.
if you. Yeah. And that, and, oh, I don't remember what I was going to say. That's all. Oh, I think she looks like Tiffany from Girls' Generation. I think they have pretty similar faces, actually.
I can see that. I can see that similarity.
Yeah, but those are the Brown Eyed Girls and how to spot them.
Yes, those are them. So without further ado, let's dive right into their timeline.
All right. So pre-debut, something that I read was that some other stage or some other names considered for Brown Eyed Girls, because I believe they were doing like public performances and like performing as a little singing group. And they went by the names.
They did like a pre-debut concert series.
Yeah. And they were considering being called Crescendo or Dark Angel. They did not pick those names, but they were on the table. I feel like Crescendo feels like, I mean, Crescendo explains their singing, and like Dark Angel
True.
could fit a few of their concepts, but
not until later on,
Right.
because they have we'll talk about it now when we talk about their debut, but they definitely had a major shift in the concept of their group after their first two albums. But their first album came out March 2nd in 2006. They debuted with an album called Your Story, and the single was called Come Closer.
Come Closer is like a nice R&B ballad, and the Brown Eyed Girls do not appear in the music video. It's like actors and a dog showing a sad relationship.
Yes, they decided to do a faceless group debut, which we were just talking about that recently as like a bold move.
Because Red Square did it.
Yes, that's right. It was in our support girl groups episode. But this album itself was it wasn't like an EP. It was a 15-track album.
Oh, God.
Pretty big. Yeah, it was huge. And it was a critical success. Like the critics really liked it because they're very good singers and it's like quality R&B. But it wasn't a very big commercial success. It didn't chart very highly, and it didn't like sell that much. It was just a like middle of the road meh. It was not a smash out the gate.
Yeah, I watched their debut stage, and they're dressed like very, very modestly. Mirio, in fact, is dressed kind of like a boy in like a big baggy tracksuit, and she has like white box braids that are not great. But
yikes.
they just like they're just like dressed a lot, kind of hip hop style, and they're just standing in a line, and they sing the song, and they do the backing track live, like all the ooh, ha, like all the harmonies, they're doing it all live. So it's very impressive, but like it isn't very like eye-catching or grabby for a debut, because they truly are just standing there and singing well, but like, I don't know. I could see why that wouldn't be a smash.
Yeah, because it doesn't have like choreo to go with it. It's not a spectacle to see. So I feel like it would be easy. It's hard, I think, for a group to debut with a ballad as their song. And so I feel like it would be easy to sort of forget about it as it came out on the charts.
Totally.
They repackaged this album just a few months later, May 5th. They released a repackage, and the single for that repack was called Hold the Line. That song does feature a rapper in it. I forgot to write down his name, so I don't know who it is. Oh well. But it does also sample a song called Push the Button by a British girl group called Sugar Babes. And it also samples a song called Technologic by Daft Punk. And this song helped boost their popularity a little bit more than their single or their initial debut did, because it was featured on the game Pump It Up. So it was like distributed worldwide, and helped gain them a little bit more personality. I mean, not personality, popularity.
Yeah.
Because the song is a little more bubbly.
Yeah, it's definitely like a fun song. I wrote that it was repetitive, but that it's fun. And in the stage that they do where the rapper is there being like a very annoying hype man and just like jumping around them, there's a little bit of, I wrote, baby choreo in this one. Because Brown Eyed Girls aren't, like, they do have a couple of iconic dances, but I feel like overall they weren't like a dance group.
They're definitely not known for their choreo. I think, honestly, in the way that like Mamamoo is not known for their choreo, right?
Because
like,
you got to be stable to do your
in order to
belts.
belt that hard. Yeah, for sure. And so they have like little choreo that you can sort of follow along, but they're not going to put out like a huge dance spectacle.
Right. Yeah, so that was Hold the Line.
And that was their first year on the scene.
2006. So then in 2007, in September, they put out a second LP that's called Leave, Miss Kim. And this single is called I Got Fooled by You, or Deceived by You.
Or sometimes it's like fooled me or whatever.
How dare you fool me?
바보처럼 난 사랑했어 뜨겁게 나만을 안아주던 네가 얼음처럼 차가워졌어 너만을 원하고
This one is so fun. It has like great horns and the vibe of it is just like so good. It's smooth, jazzy vocals and like
Seriously, I loved this song. I thought it was so good. The music video is like they're just like the jazz singers or whatever, like the cabaret singers in a bar, and like your man is cheating on you or whatever. But it's such a good song. They came out with another single for this. They had like a B-side which was called Oasis.
너와 함께 걸으면 그 어떤 해변가도 부럽지 않아 넌 나의 바다야 넌 나의 파도야 네 품에 안기면 내 안에 파도 소리가
well, isn't that just so pleasant?
It's so lovely and so bubbly and so different from
It
their
reminds
other
me a
songs.
little bit of the Going 17 theme song or something like that. Like it's just got like that vibe. Like
I had like a weird deja vu, like glitch in the Matrix feeling when I watched that one researching for this.
yeah,
because
is it
I
like
felt
an
like
old
I
song?
knew it.
Yeah.
No, I was like, but when the chorus started, I was like, wait, I know this. I felt like I could sing along
Yeah.
with it. That little like.
Yes, like what is that? Is that like a theme song
Why do I know
or a
what that
trot
is?
song? Or like why do we
I
know
don't
that?
know.
But I feel like I know it too.
Yeah, if you know,
Let us
let
know.
us know.
Yeah, but that's like a fun one. They're like it's a little beachy music video in a VW van, and then like it's
Yes, and the
raining and the
song-
beach trip is ruined.
Yeah, it's so cute, and they're like very goofy in the music video. The song features a singer named Lee Jae-hoon. He's not in the music video, but this second album was also not really a commercial success. It did go to number 9 on the Gaon chart, but it only sold about 10,000 copies, and I thought it was interesting because I read that their company basically argued that they couldn't compete with like the other girl groups that were going on at the time because the Wonder Girls released Tell Me like right around the same time that this album came out.
Yeah.
And so their company was like, well, we can't compete with the Wonder Girls. So they kind of blamed that as this not being a commercial success.
Interesting.
Which I thought was like, I don't know. I mean, I guess that second one, Oasis, is pretty bubbly, but the other song, I Got Fooled by You,
It's
is like
totally
excellent
different.
R&B crooning. Yeah, it's totally different from the Wonder Girls. So I was like, I don't know about that, but whatever.
So then the next thing that happened in January of 2008, they put out a first EP called With Love, or with Love. And this single is also called Love.
이런 이름 아래 난내 마음대로 지이 너도 역시 날 좋아하고 있을 거라고 믿는다네 난 너를 그려 매 순간에 종종 현실을 난 망각해 하지만 이럴 수밖에 나를 사랑하는 너의 목소리 Don't really I need you I love you
This was their first number 1 song. The album or the EP itself peaked at number 7 on the Gaon charts. And this one was sort of celebrated or praised for having a different sound to it. I guess because this EP seems to have a much more like electro pop feel to it than their more previous like R&B styles.
Yeah, this is a very interesting song. It reminds me of a song they put out later that we'll get to. So when it first started, I was like, this is a different, wait, they have this song already, but it was later. It's like interesting because it's just like a kind of soft song, but the driving beat underneath it is like so fast that
Yes.
it creates this kind of like urgency vibe that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting song. It wasn't one of my favorites of their songs, if only because I, like you said, like the vocals are softer. They sort of don't take advantage of what good singers the members are, which almost feels like a shame when you like do know how amazing they are. But whatever. They also promoted a second single off of this EP called Love Action.
속의 판타지
another jazzy fun.
Yeah, I really like that one. I wrote down that it was a big band electro pop because it's kind of a weird combination of the two. But I think that song's really fun.
It is fun. And something I wrote for this like era for the stages that I watched, their stage costumes for LOVE were kind of like Seven Dwarf like it was that like overalls and like a little like shirt thing, like kind of these interesting little like kind of dolly costumes, except for Mirio, who's like wearing like pants and like fedoras and stuff. But there's more choreo in both of these songs for the stages. So like the choreo game is being upped, and I just thought it is worth noting.
Absolutely. Plays into their evolving style because this is, again, like it's a group that's trying to compete with these like other larger girl group, second gen girl groups who have kind of a similar aesthetic, but maybe a different like maybe a similar visual aesthetic, but a different like vocal sound.
Sure.
So they're trying to figure out what it's going to take for them to stand out.
Right. Yeah, and it's just like interesting to think of because we mentioned earlier, like at this time period, 3 of the 4 members are like 27. Whereas like Girls' Generation were probably all still 19. Like they were older than those girls as well.
Yeah, so they're already starting out at like a very different, just at a different place.
Yeah.
Like if you're even just thinking about sort of the like culture and environment of like behind the scenes of a music show, we know that the idols, like they spend so much time together when they're like waiting to film their music show stage. And so like I can't imagine the dynamics between like 2 rookie groups where one of them is like 10 years older than the other, but you're both rookies. I don't know. Very strange.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, their next EP or their next release came out September 16th in the same year, 2008. And it was a second mini album or EP called My Style. The single was called How Come. Guyan with her one eye.
Yes, that was my one of my first notes for this music video is Guyan begins her love affair with her one eye and sad lingerie mirror music videos.
Yes. Sad, abused woman mirror shots
with like
is
some
what I
running
think
makeup
of when I think of Guyan. Yeah, exactly. Like in some kind of black lingerie.
She's
like,
so good at
sad.
holding her face in this very specific way,
like beaten down way.
And it's interesting because the rest of this music video, it's like kind of like a grungy set of a music video, but they're all wearing like shiny satin polka dot dresses, and the choreo is pretty cutesy and like
yes, and the chorus is really cutesy. I wrote it was like very cute but very repetitive, and the visuals of the music video just like really don't match in any way. But it was, like we just said a few times, it was very cutesy. Like even though the visuals of the music video had this like grunge style to some parts of it, it was overall a cutesy song, and it was like, you know, had that same like electro pop bounce. And it wasn't a smash. So before they started with their next release, the group or the company decided it was time to switch things up. The company announced that the girls were going to make a radical 180-degree change in their concept of the group with their next release, which came out July 21st, 2009. They came out with their third album, which was called Sound G. And their first released single off of this album was called Candyman. There's no music video for that song, but I love that song.
I watched a
very
stage. I watched a stage for it, and their like looks were kind of like country a little bit, like denim, like gingham and like denim shirts and like cut off little jeans and like boots and stuff. And I wrote like belt it country girls because like in the stages they're like singing so hard.
They do sing so hard, but they have like you can kind of hear it. It was more evident in the follow-up single, which we'll play in a second. But you can sort of start to hear this like sexier vibe that's going to come out.
Yes, I feel like they all like cement like what their singing voices are gonna sound like from now on. Like the voices that they do in this album become their like signature voices forever.
Yeah. I agree. I would almost argue that this is like the seminal Brown Eyed Girls album because I think in both the sound of their voices and just the general aesthetic of the group, like this is what Brown Eyed Girls is, and like they stick with this vibe for the rest of it, or for the rest of their career. So their second single was the more heavily promoted one, and this is Abracadabra.
Life-changing stuff right there.
I love that. So this is where you really get to see what they called the company. Like I said, they were going to do this huge, drastic concept change, right? They wanted to compete with the cute, innocent concepts that most girl groups of the time had. And so they decided to sort of re-debut or come back as, quote, mature and sexy city girls. So I guess if they were in the country before, now they're from the city. Yeah. And there is so much happening in this music video. I feel like we've talked about this video before.
Because we talked about it a million times. It's one of my favorite music videos. I've said on this podcast before, I think it's probably the greatest K-pop song of all time. Like, it's a perfect song and it's a perfect music video. It's like the spectacle of it, the sex of it, the little like kinky gay stuff, and the like man with a bomb on his chest. Like, there's so many things happening in it. And it's just like so iconic, and they all look so cool. Like they've all been given like futuristic makeovers, and they have like crazy haircuts and crazy makeup and like skin tight pleather outfit, like and the zebra
leather
print
Hunger Games
too.
style. Yeah,
it's just like so much is happening. But like one note on the Abracadabra music video. When we were listening to Candyman earlier, I was like, why does this song sound familiar? I feel like I know I haven't heard it. It's because during all the bomb scenes at the beginning and end of Abracadabra, Candyman is playing like echoey and dissonantly in the background.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why my brain knew it.
Nice.
Yeah, but like this is an iconic music video. It's like back in the day, it was always on the lists of like K-pop things you have to watch. The dance swept the country. It was like the most important. It was such an important dance phenomenon. Like,
yes, because it has, we have talked about this specific dance before. I think we talked about it like way back in our choreography episode when we talked about point dances, because they have what's called the hip dance in
the
this,
arrogant dance.
Yes. And so it's this like, it's not an anti-chorus. This song like has an actual chorus, but it is like in this instrumental break of the song where the girls just cross their arms and they just like swing their hips like real nonchalantly. And it was, I think we mentioned this in the choreography episode, that it was so popular that even Psy in like a subsequent single, his choreography is based and like is a parody of this choreography, because that's how popular this song was.
Yeah, I saw there was a clip going around Twitter recently that was just like very heartwarming and sweet, and it was like a clip from God knows what old variety show from 2009, and there were like 7 girl groups, like 4 Minute and SNSD and Brown Eyed Girl, like everyone you could think of, and like they asked the Brown Eyed Girls to like show everyone your new hot dance, and they like teach everyone how to do the arrogant dance, and they like make Sunny come out and do it, but like Hyuna's way in the background and Sunmi's back, like everybody is there, and like they like stop the whole show to be like, the Brown Eyed Girls and their dance, like we have to show everyone there. It was a big deal is the point.
It was a really big deal. It won the Mutizen Award on Inkigayo. It was one of the best-selling singles of the year with over 3 million downloads in just that year. And it was controversial. The music video and the choreography version or performance version both got like tisked or whatever by like broadcasting companies. But the album itself was successful. It has 5 songwriting credits for both Mirio and Jaya. And in August, they made their Japanese debut with a re-release of this album, a Japanese version. We're not going to like really cover a lot of the Japanese stuff for Brown Eyed Girls, but it happened. A few months later, shortly after their Japanese debut, they released a repackage of the album Sound G. It was called Sign. It came out on October 29th, 2010, and the single is also called Sign.
So this is the song I was referencing earlier when we were talking about LOVE. You can sing this song over LOVE.
Yes.
It's the same.
It is the same. It is the same. You can definitely hear it. This was another controversial music video for them
It's
because
crazy.
it's super violent. Like it's mostly just about this guy like getting the shit kicked out of him by like a lot of other people. But the scene people really didn't like was that Guyan has a scene where she drowns in it. And people thought that was too far.
It's really crazy. It's like this man is like fighting 20 people, and then it's like every time he gets knocked down, it's like ghostly versions of 3 of the Brown Eyed Girls are like appearing and like helping him up, and then he like finds the final boss, and there's like a scary boss man with a suit, and then Guyan is in like a Houdini water chamber like tied up, and then the guy he kills the bad guy and then smashes her out, but he's too late and she's dead, and then he's just like and that's the music video to this fun dance song.
They did, I will say, like, they released a Japanese version of this, and the music video is just a choreography version. It's not any of that crap.
Yeah, and if you remember from our 2009 Hit Stage episode last year, this song was featured in that episode, and it has a fan dance, and they hit themselves with the fans on the ta-ta-tas.
Yes, that's right. Ta-ta-ta. Yeah, I remember that. All right, the rest of this year so that was released in October of 2010, and the rest of this year really the girls focused a lot on their like solo activities. They had a lot of different things happen. So I'm just going to sort of read a list. It is in chronological order, but it kind of starts back in July.
All right.
So July 2010, Narsha releases her first solo self-titled album. In August, Jaya releases a collaboration with a Thai singer. The single is called Face to Face. In October, Guyan releases her solo debut. It's an EP called Step 24. The lead single off of it, Irreversible, is very popular and wins on Inkigayo. In December, Jaya releases a single called Because You Sting, which features Go of M Black. And also during this time, this started back in September of 2009, but Guyan and Jo Kwon are on We Got Married, and that lasts all the way to January of 2011. They were together for about 15 months on that show. Guyan is also doing a lot of acting at this time. She's in 2 different sitcoms. One is called All My Love. The other is called Gaumji. And Narsha is all over TV. She's on Invincible Youth. She's on an SBS show called Heroes. And she's a KBS DJ for a show called Pump Up the Volume. So the members were pretty busy with their own activities, but they did come together to finish the year with a concert called The Hot Winter Party at Axe Korea Hall in Seoul. And then the beginning of the following year was mostly spent on Japanese promotions. And they even like maybe had to spend a little bit longer in Japan because they had a concert planned for April that got pushed back due to a earthquake that happened in March. So that concert didn't actually happen until September, right before their next Korean release, which was their fourth album. It came out on September 23rd, 2011. The album was called Sixth Sense. And on September 16th, they released a pre-release track called Hot Shot.
So this one is fun. It's like Latin-y.
Yeah, and like kind of jazzy. The music video is just like cute scenes of them, I guess, like putting together the album is what it's supposed to look like.
Right. So I have to interrupt to say that everybody should stop and go watch the Hot Shot performance on Music Core, because they did it in suits and little hats. And the choreo is so gay. They have girl backup dancers in little dresses. And they do sexy, like they are the boys, like feeling
like
up
a
on the
partner
girls'
dance.
butt partner dances.
Ooh, I love that. They do
very
that several times. Brown Eyed Girls loves a like gender flipped costume, and I like wrote it down a couple of times. I wonder if some of their members are queer, because it feels like recurring theme.
It feels like such a strong theme that it feels like it would. Somebody's got to be right.
And they do have like. It's interesting because, you know, some of their older albums or their like first two albums, it's hard to find information about the songwriting credits, but we do see a pretty strong pattern of the members being pretty highly involved in the creation of the group itself, the concepts of their albums and the tracks. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. That was a pre-release,
yes.
The Hot Shot was, and the lead single off of this album, Sixth Sense, is also called Sixth Sense.
This is one that you have to watch. I think this is have to watch one. I wrote that it like reminds me of dystopian Spice Girls, because something about it reminds me of the Say You'll Be There music video if it involved like a dance off with an evil army. I don't know. Something about it just reminds me of Spice Girls. But like, oh my God, this music video is like so sexy and so high budge, and it has like a crazy storyline. Like, it's got everything.
Yes, the whole concept behind this was about like resistance, right? And I have a quote from their company that said, "The members hope to convey their thoughts to the public through music. Their title track is an expression of the limitations of experiencing music with only 5 senses, and it asks people to feel it instead with their 6th sense." And the music video is basically the members are going to like fight a fascist like army with their like police and riot gear with incredibly sexy choreography,
just
and
shaking
like
their ass.
singing in their face. And my only note for this was like, how can you pick just one part of this for the clip? Like, I really had no idea where to drop it, because I was like, oh, it's also good. It's also good. And they look so good. Oh
They
my
all
God,
look
they're
really
all so
great.
hot.
They all like, really, really perfect hot looks on everyone. And like, all the solo shots are crazy. It's crazy. Y'all gotta go look at it.
You gotta watch it. This song, the single was very successful. It won both M Countdown and Inkigayo twice. The single went to number 1 on the Gaon chart and number 2 on the Billboard K-pop Hot 100. The album peaked at number 2. And Jaya has 1 lyric and 1 composition credit on the album. Just something we always keep track of.
Of course. So that was September, and it looks like immediately in November the repack come out. Did it have a new name, or was it just a repack?
No. Yeah, it was just a repackage, and the single was called Cleansing Cream. That song is very beautiful. The music video is very strange and a little upsetting.
Yeah, I wrote trauma music video in all caps because the plot, from what I gathered, seems to be that there's like a cold man and he has a blind daughter and then, like, I'm assuming, like, a hot stepwife. And the stepwife is, like, very jealous of the blind daughter, but the husband doesn't pay attention to either of them. And then at the end, she tries to drown the blind girl in a bathtub. And then she feels bad about it and sits there and cries. Like, I don't know what's happening, but it's so much.
Yeah, it's very upsetting. And like the music video tells you the story like kind of in reverse. Like it starts by
with
showing
the worst
you, like,
part.
the drowned girl. Yeah. And like what is with the brown-eyed girls and drowning?
Yeah.
It's
Because
like
there was
the
also
common
a
theme.
threat of drowning in the Sixth Sense music video.
Yes. I don't
Interesting.
know. Anyway, the rest of, so like from after this came out, which did pretty well, it went to number 4 on the Gown chart. The members are going to take some time to do a lot of solo stuff. So we have Mirio. She self-produces a solo album that comes out on February 1st. 2 of the songs were banned for their lyrical content.
Naughty.
Another theme for the brown-eyed girls. Narsha makes her acting debut. She is in 2, I think that they're dramas. I actually didn't write that down, but the titles are Light and Shadow and Oh La La Couple. And then all 4 of them, Guyan, Mirio, Narsha, and Jaya, are all on variety shows. There's Guyan's Fashion King. Mirio goes on Show Me the Money. Narsha goes on Immortal Songs. Jaya goes on Immortal Songs as well. And I believe it's Narsha who's in the musical When a Man Loves.
Yes, she does. She's the musical girl.
Yeah. Yes. So they do all kinds of very busy solo stuff.
Okay, so after the members have done all of their fun variety solo stuff, in July of 2012, they put out just a single that's called The Original, and the title track that they made a music video for is called One Summer Night.
It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And this is one that has a very long music video, but it pays off. And it's another beautiful hidden queer love story in this music video.
Is it?
Did you watch it all the way to the end? Okay, so
I don't think I did.
Okay, so the music video, I first thought it was weird because it's very long, but it has multiple instances of girls with bloody feet because their shoes
Yeah,
are
they like cut their
Yes.
feet on things.
So there's like multiple shots of like bloody feet cuts, and I was like, "What is this weird fetish music video?" But anyway, it's Jaya's like at a cafe or whatever, and she's like looking through this notebook or something. And then at the end of the music video, one of the other members like meets her in the cafe, and she gives her the notebook and the sheet music to the song, and she like reads the "Kiss Me" lines, and then she like looks at her, and then they're like, and then it like ends in a slow-mo shot of the 2 young girls who are in the flashbacks like holding hands at the beach. And I was like, the whole thing was actually a confession.
Their
the other
love story. Aw, sweet.
Sneaky.
I saw the part where she gave her the song. I didn't realize. I guess I didn't
it like
stay to
keeps
watch it all the way to the
going a
end.
little more.
Oh, how lovely. Well, this whole little single album, it was actually a gift for the fans as a way to thank them for still supporting them, even though the girls had not done anything together for a while. It was written and composed by Jaya, and it did come with a B-side, but it was just like a 2-track little single, and it only peaked at number 7, but it sold over 1 million copies.
Wow.
Because their fans were quite dedicated. They were willing to wait for them. So after this little thank you song came out, we have more solo activities. The girls did not promote One Summer Night at all. Mm-hmm. They were too busy. So we have Guyan, who comes out with her second EP, which is called Talk About S, on October 5th, 2012. Then Jaya puts out a pre-release single in December called Let's Hug for an album that comes out the next month in January. That album is called Just Jaya, and she also produced it. Guyan then puts out another album, another little duet album, which was a surprise that nobody she didn't announce it. It was called Romantic Spring, and she put it out with label mate Cho Hyung-woo, so it's like a duet album.
Okay.
But the girls, the only thing they did all together was that in December of 2012, they came together for a concert called Tonight 37.2 Degrees Celsius. And apparently the title of the concert the meaning of the title gets revealed in the concert itself, but the article I read didn't explain what the meaning was. So I don't know what the meaning was. All I know is that this concert was rated 19 and up because it was too saucy for minors, and it was sold out.
Wow. Good for them. You love to see it. So then the next thing that the Brown Eyed Girls did all together was in July of 2013. They put out a single called Recipe.
정신 못 차리게 하네 you ready make it hot and sexy just sweet and spicy you 정신 못 차리게 하네 나 make you going crazy.
So there is no music video for this one, but there are some music show stages, and it has cute partner dance choreo, and what a bop.
Fun. I really, really like that song. It's such a fun song. It's produced by a very popular K-hip hop producer named Primary, and the lyrics were written by both Mirio and Cheja of Dynamic Duo. And it went to number 5 on the Gaon chart. It was released as a pre-release track for their upcoming 4th album, which was called their upcoming 5th album, which was called Black Box, and it came out July 29th, 2013. The single for this album was called Kill Bill, but we're not going to play a clip of that now because we are going to save it for our random game. I believe that we've gotten Brown Eyed Girls in the random game before, and Abracadabra is their most watched music video. So we're saving Kill Bill, which is their second most watched. So we'll save that for the end. But just some facts about Kill Bill. The theme of Kill Bill, the music video, is based off of the movie, like the Western, because the song starts with a whistle that the members thought reminded them of the movie Kill Bill. So that's why they chose to go with that concept. The song is composed by Jaya and another artist named Lee Gyu-hyun. It peaked at number 2, and they did release a dance version of the music video a few days later on August 2nd.
Can't wait to watch that later.
Yes, we'll come back to it. I haven't seen it.
Me either.
I'm very excited to watch. Then the girls again break off for some solo activities. Guyan comes out with a solo album and also does like a C-pop single as a collaboration. Mirio and Narsha, they debut as a subunit called M and In. That comes out on November 11th with a single called Tonight. This was self-composed by the members, and there's both a Korean and an English version of it. And then Guyan's solo album Truth or Dare comes out in February of 2014. This is her 3rd EP, and it has the song Fuck You as the pre-release track, which is, I think, maybe like that's the song I know.
It's
Guyan.
my favorite Guyan song. I don't know if it was popular with anyone else, but it was popular with me.
It's like the only Guyan solo song that I like know off
You don't
the
know
top of my
Paradise
head.
Lost as well?
I don't,
okay.
but I know this one. So the girls were pretty busy doing their own thing. And then they came back together. They put out in August of 2014, they put out a greatest hits album, which was called Special Moments. And it had only one new track on it, which was called Hush.
that's fun. I missed that on my research the first time around. That's a funky song.
It's a fun one. It has like a heavier electro instrumentation, I guess, than
It's
they
like returning
have been doing.
It's like returning to that abracadabra sound for the
Yes.
sake of nostalgia is what it feels like to me.
Yeah, and since it's on their greatest hits, I bet it fit really well into like the rest of that track list for sure.
So the next thing I had on the timeline is just boring business stuff, but it's important. So on September 4th, 2015, their original contracts with Nega Network expired. And in a few years previous to this, Guyan had actually signed with Lowen Entertainment to handle her solo career. And she left Lowen to join a company called A-Pop, which was run by the guy who wrote Abracadabra. So her solo career was under A-Pop. So then when the whole group left Nega in September, by the end of that month, the rest of them were signed under A-Pop.
Oh, interesting.
As like a whole group now. And A-Pop is a subsidiary of Mystic Entertainment, which is a little bigger. But yeah, so that's just some fun company moving things. But I just thought it was interesting that Guyan had different management for her solo stuff, because I know people have different management for Japanese careers or whatever, but it just seems like how interesting.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was just thinking too, how rare it is for an artist to have a solo career under a different label. Like, especially if you think about all of the other artists, like, I mean, shit, even Wonho is like still under a subsidiary of Starship.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that she would have had different representation.
I wonder if it was just something of, because if it was around the time that she was getting so famous on TV, I wonder if it was like her tiny company didn't have the manpower to also run a solo career, and somebody at the TV station was probably like, let us do it. Like, it was probably one of those kind of deals. Like, we have more resources to promote her.
Yeah, maybe. Or I wonder if it even stemmed from her already working with Lone on some kind of like acting or TV appearance.
Yeah, because they're one of those very big companies that
they have
their
so
hands
many
in a
different
lot of
things.
stuff. Anyway, so that was the Brown Eyed Girls. By the end of September 2015 are all together under a new label, A-Pop.
Yes. And then in November of 2015, they put out their 6th album. This album is called Basic, and the single is called Warm Hole. Not Wormhole, Warm Hole.
Legends only.
Everyone needs to watch that music video. Like, stop what you're doing right now and please watch it. It is, I wrote down that it's Playboy does Hairspray, but not subtle.
Yes, that is perfect. That's perfect.
Because they have like their little like 1950s, like 60s, like Playboy bunny
costumes.
Cute little bathing suits. And it's like sort of jazzy. But it is so explicit. Like, there's a part where one of the members is just like crawling through this like
Pink
soft
tunnel.
fabric tunnel. And then like Mirio is like staring at a blender that has like pink liquid in it.
And
It's
when
like,
it turns on,
just,
she's like, oh.
yeah. She freaks out. It's so the choreo is like
It's
cute
so
as shit.
cute.
It's like such cute.
I wrote
choreography.
cutest choreo ever. Yes. Like,
Yes.
for such a dirty song, it's so cute.
Whoa. It's
Fire
so
in the
cute.
hole. Oh my God. Why is it so
so
cute?
It's so cute. It's so dirty. Legends only. Everybody watch it.
I honestly can't believe. I mean, I can't believe that it was like allowed on TV and like all of like that they performed it. They did.
They did. It had very explicit lyrics, but they still got to perform it on both M Countdown and Music Bank, and they didn't have to change the words.
But I think the thing that I'm more upset about is that I just found out about this like 4 months ago.
Yes, I agree. I did not know this
How
song
did I miss this?
until before this year.
And I know the second single that we're going to play in a second. I remember it. So I don't know how I missed this. I truly don't. It's shocking.
Maybe
to me.
it was like weirdly buried in the sense that like people were like, we can't handle this kind of explicit female sexuality. Like it's too
I don't
much.
know. I don't know. But anyway,
it should be
it's great.
celebrated. It's well done and it's great. Warm Hole. That was their single from the first album under their new label. The album peaked at number 8 on the Gaon chart, and the single peaked at number 8 on the Gaon chart, and they released a second single called Brave New World.
This song is so trippy and fun. It has some of the weirdest sounds in it, but it's so fun.
The song is really fun. The music video is very fun too. It has these like gorgeous femboy backup dancers in see-through lace and like leather hot pants. And it's all just like this fun, like modern disco electro, like rainbow extravaganza.
Yeah.
Like the music video is so fun and has
Great
such
eye makeup.
Such
Good
great eye
looks.
makeup.
There's also, I feel like, I mean, maybe there was a time before, so I won't say it definitively. But in this music video, there are sets where they are all wearing the same outfit, like the same blue sweater and the same pants, and they look so uniform, which is not
And it's
usually
rare.
their vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, they usually have, even in their like early stuff that was cutesier, they each had their own little aesthetic, right?
Yeah, like there was a
Mirio
stage-
always wore pants, and like this one always wore the dress, this one always wore the skirt and the shirt or whatever.
Yeah, there was a stage I wrote down way earlier on where they were all wearing like mint costumes, but they were all very different. Like the sexy dress and the baby dress and the pants and the like whatever,
The
but they were
Spice Girl
made out of the
style
same
aesthetic.
material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This song it peaked at number 10, but it was like very well received critically. Billboard magazine said that they perfected the Brown Eyed Girls' provocative formula in this. 8 out of the 10 songs on this album are credited to either and or Mirio Jaya. And Guyan helped with the choreo for both of the title tracks. And she also helped form the album's concept as well.
Wow, good for her.
Yeah.
So then 2016 marked, like we spoke about earlier, marked 10 years of Brown Eyed Girls and officially made them the longest running girl group with no member changes.
Yes, and they held their 10th anniversary concert on March 18th at the Feria in Los Angeles, which is now known as Club Bound LA.
Fun. And then I have no Brown Eyed Girls news for 2 more years.
Yes. So after that 2015 album Basic, they went on like an unofficial 4-year hiatus. They never addressed the fact that they weren't doing anything, but they didn't do anything together as a group. And then in December of 2018, Narsha left Kpop Entertainment, but claimed, in the way that many groups do, that she would still continue to promote with Brown Eyed Girls. And fortunately for us and for Brown Eyed Girls, that has proved true for Narsha.
Yeah.
Because then in October 28th, 2019, the girls put out their 7th album, which is called Revive. And this was their first comeback in 4 years after their unofficial hiatus. And it is a cover album with different like Brown Eyed Girls versions of different Korean songs from the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. And they have 2 title tracks off of this album that both have music videos. The first one is called Wonder Woman.
이 사람도 지면 죽도록 후회할까 내게 머물러 너를 사랑하는 일은 놀라워 잊을 수 없던 그를 잊게 했어 너의 얘기를 듣다 보면
That music video, so all of these songs are covers, but that music video is great. The song is really good too. The music video concept is that the girls are dressed as grooms. They're all wearing these like beautiful tuxes, and then they're in different rooms filled with drag queens who are dressed as the brides, and they're just like sort of like goofy interacting with each other. And then every once in a while, the drag queens are doing like amazing moves on a stripper pole. And it's just like a really great song. And it's a really fun music video, and the girls look stunning.
They look amazing. Narsha has like a Liza Minnelli cabaret look that is amazing. But
yeah, she has one of those short little Liza wigs.
And like her overdrawn like Cupid doll lips. It's great.
Mirio's middle part is my favorite.
Yeah.
She looks so good.
And just a shout out, the queens featured in this music video are from a troupe called Neon Milk, and they apparently have videos on YouTube of them doing like cover dances and working and stuff. So
very cool, because there is the main choreo part of this song. The shot like cuts back and forth between just the queens doing it in their wedding outfits, and then the queens doing the choreo with the brown-eyed girls in front of them in their tuxes doing it. So they are clearly like backup dancers as well, which is very cool. They also released they made another music video for a song called Abandoned.
이젠 싫어 너의 사랑을 받은 이유로 나는 나를 버려.
Corpse Bride fantasy realness.
Yes, that's what I wrote down. I wrote haunted ghost dolls ?
I mean, they look stunning, but like that is
so beautiful.
The vibe of that music video is creepy, broken haunted house, and then this man with like shiny long hair. It's so shiny.
Such long hair. His
like
hair is so pretty.
Through the house.
And being like haunted by the girls in these like stunning like nightgowns.
Yeah, they look amazing.
And Mirio in her like sexy suit.
Yes.
But yeah, very sad song, very haunting music video. This was, like we said, it was a cover album, right? So none of these songs are original tracks. And the album wasn't a huge smash. It debuted at number 9. I mean, it debuted at 29 and peaked at 24. So probably due to the fact that it wasn't an original album. But it was really well received. The critics really loved it. They said it was like a great walk down memory lane of South Korean music history. And I laughed a little bit because I looked into like the promotions of this, because they didn't go on the music shows or anything. And it has been 4 years at this point since they've put anything out. And then they come back with an album that like doesn't even have original music, which is just like an interesting choice. But they did promote this album on Yoo Hyeol's Sketchbook, which is a very popular show that we've brought up a bunch of times. All kinds of artists go on there. And Narsha joked sort of that because Yoo Hyeol asked like, well, why aren't you going on the regular shows? And she said, we do want to go on music shows, but we think the artists would be scared of us and we don't want to make them uncomfortable. Because at this point now, not only are they a group that has like 14 years experience, but they are also in their mid 30s.
Yeah, they're all 30. They're all 38 and 32.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a chance that some of those baby idols have moms that are 38.
Oh,
like,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Brown-eyed girls like being in like backstage at the same show as like ITZY,
right?
Where their maknae is like 16.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That would be crazy.
But I wish that they would just, because like Hyori does it, like just to be like, what? Yeah. You gonna stop me?
Yeah, I wish they would too. It would be great, but they didn't really promote this. It was also like not I don't want to say it wasn't a real album, but it's not an original. It's not original new music.
It's like it's perfect. It's a perfect project for a group this deep into their career, Yeah. Like that's when you start doing like greatest hits and conceptual cover albums and like, whatever, because your fans just want to hear you sing some more.
Yeah, your fans just miss you being together after 4 freaking years.
Yeah, so that brings us to the last most current thing on our list, which is that in January of this year, 2020, the Brown Eyed Girls released a new digital single called Snowman.
내 손만 닿았던 네 모든 곳 Really true love Really true love 얼어붙은 너의 맘은 그대로 두는 게 좋았을 걸 Really true love
Ooh, yes, that's some wintertime music.
It's so beautiful. Wintertime jazz. I
Yeah.
love it. That's what I want in these cold LA winters.
Yeah, totally.
I love that song. It's so pretty. I feel like, that takes us up to today, right? And that
Yep.
song doesn't have a music video and they didn't promote
No,
it.
but I did find a video of them doing like a nice acoustic sitting on
Oh,
chairs in
nice.
crisp white suits, kind of like nice video. So there's that.
Good. I'm glad there's still a video of like at least one performance of them getting together because they just this year celebrated their 14th anniversary. So it is really amazing that they're still together. And so I would love to see more from them, even though I know they don't like really do that much together anymore. It's nice that they're still together. And
Yeah.
I feel like after doing all of this research, like Brown Eyed Girls has a like such a strong discography. They're such incredible singers. Their music is very melodic. It's very fun. It's different. And it has like a lot of different, it has a wide range, I think, to it.
Definitely.
And I am just like almost a little disappointed in myself for not being so into the Brown Eyed Girls beforehand. But better late than never, y'all. And I hope that we all can come away from this as new everlastings.
Here,
That's their
here.
fandom name, if you didn't remember
Yes.
from the beginning of the episode.
That was perfect. All right. Well, now we're going to hunker down and watch this Kill Bill music video to wrap it up for today.
Okay, that's the dance version. This is the music
Oh,
video.
7:30, y'all.
7 minutes long. Oh, damn. Okay. Shit.
Okay, here we go. So it turns out this Brown Eyed Girls Kill Bill music video is quite long, 7:30. So I'm assuming like a Quentin Tarantino movie, we're gonna use up all the
This
time
is the
here.
Quentin Tarantino movie of music videos. Therefore, it must be 3 hours long.
Right? All right, let's see what they have for us. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, we got credits. Naked Network presents. Here we go. We're already go doing the movie thing.
Got our logo, Brown Eyed Girls.
And the
So
whistle.
here's the whistle. That's what they thought felt Western. We've got a black and white scene of someone doing what looks like calligraphy. She's got like a huge brush.
And a huge back
Back
tattoo.
tattoo. Oh, a back tattoo of like pretty watercolor, like cherry blossoms and a bird. That almost looks real. Oh, she's doing calligraphy on somebody's back.
Bill.
Bill.
Bill. Because he's
Oh, Bill.
Kill Bill. Oh, someone's under the
Oh,
bed.
Okay. She's under the bed. One of the other members is under the bed and she's hiding. Oh, she has a tarantula in a jar. Oh no, she's letting the tarantula out on the bed. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Ah! Okay, so then we have Guyan in her wedding dress with a gun.
Oh,
Shoots someone. But who did she shoot?
and now it's Kill Bill with a slash through it. Yeah. Oh, she's gonna take that stick out of her hair, throw it at her.
Oh my gosh. So Jaya was the member that was doing the calligraphy on the man's back.
Or is that Narsha?
I don't know.
Oh no!
Oh damn!
Stick in her head.
Stabbed it in her head. I believe Mirio was the one who was under the bed. Okay, someone just shot through the door. And now she's also dead. So we've got 2 members down. Oh no, that's Mirio.
And she's wearing a pencil skirt.
Honestly,
Shocking.
now I feel like I'm getting their faces confused.
Me too, because it's like all black and white. Oh, she's shot
Oh,
too.
is
Everyone's
she dead as
shot.
well? How did she die? Everybody's dead?
Oh no.
How
Well,
did
who's
the girl
under
under the bed die?
I don't know.
How did the last one die? This movie's got
They better
plot holes.
explain this in the rest of this video. 4 years,
4 years later, but everybody's dead. Okay, we've got someone in a white raincoat.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
missing an eye.
Oh, that eye patch
Walking
and this coat with the
with a
like
red-
drawn on
yeah.
belt. Oh my god, it's gorgeous.
It's like a white coat with red drawn on details. And she was like swinging a red umbrella.
And she had like a white leather eye patch. And okay,
Ooh, someone is okay. So Guyan is the one who got stabbed in the head with this like hair needle, and she is in a hospital, presumably in a coma.
like Kill Bill.
Yes. Isn't there an eye patch person in Kill Bill?
I think so. So I think Jaya is eye patch person.
Yes.
And then Guyan is Uma Thurman.
right.
Oh yes,
Oh, wow,
this
here we
choreo.
go. Yes.
Lay on those men.
Oh my god, they're just doing the like the bridge pose basically, like pelvic thrust. Okay, my favorite part. Oh my goodness. So I watched the dance practice version of this, and you never see the men's faces.
No, they're just there to be crotches
yeah.
and backs of heads.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so now everybody's wearing incredible Western looks, leather and fringe, and Narsha's boobies are out and like...
Ooh, Guyan wakes up. Okay, so we're going back and forth between the like dance scenes and the opening credits of the movie, if you will. We're getting like Jaya's character and Guyan's character. And the girls have some female backup dancers who are wearing these like monochrome brown looks.
Okay, Narsha just put Mirio in a coffin.
Ugh, I love the way that they lean on the boys.
Yes!
Just like objectify those cowboys. Okay, Guyan is trying to make a mad escape from the hospital.
Also, just to point out, sex harnesses worn as fashion in 2013.
Oh yeah.
People, like, that feels like a modern thing, but
Monsta X Fantasia owes its life to this
this,
music video.
for sure. Oh my god.
Oh my god. The fighting in this music video is amazing.
Okay,
Guyan
yeah, this is the
back and
trailer
she's out
fight.
for revenge.
Oh, the cute little snap in a circle. It's so cute. Oh, I wonder if they learned some legit fight choreo for this.
Yeah,
It looks like they did.
it. The cinematography for this is really good. It's like a legitimate movie.
Yeah.
She's just like smacking her in the head.
And look, they're
See,
facing
look at
away
these boy
from us.
furniture. I love it.
And girl
And then
furniture
getting
too.
gay with the girls.
Everybody wins.
Oh no!
She was in the ceiling.
Someone's hiding on the ceiling. The choreo, Mirio, just the boys bend over and she smacks their butts.
in a circle of butts. It's perfect. Oh, shot through the door.
Again. That's exactly what happened the last time.
Everyone's boots are spectacular.
Yeah. Oh God.
So
Okay,
much
guy just
knifing.
threw a knife. Why is she coming down like James Bond? Oh shit!
Oh, Narsha missed, and she just knocked her harness. But now they're all splayed on the floor again.
Just like the beginning. Amazing.
Wow.
Ugh, incredible. Brown-eyed girls.
Great stuff.
Like no other.
Yeah, this was really, really a fun deep dive. I hope that everybody listening, if you're not familiar with Brown Eyed Girls, that you dig into some of this stuff. I will say right now, I made a playlist of everything we watched, including some stages and choreo videos that will be on our YouTube channel. So please do check it out. Did you have any additional recommendations besides just everything that we talked about today?
My main recommendation is the dance version of Kill Bill. It's really good. And so it's just like that choreo set of the like plain white room with all the backup dancers, and the choreo is really cute in a way that you like kind of don't expect from the song, but it's really fun, and the way that they use their backup dancers is incredible. Love it.
Great.
Love it all.
My recommendation is very recent, and it is a perfect marrying of a legend stage from legendary idols and awkward television, which is my favorite. So at the 2019 KBS Drama Awards, Brown Eyed Girls performed. They do a little medley of Sixth Sense, Abracadabra, and then they end with Wonder Woman, and then they show like a montage of all the like girls kicking ass from that year in dramas. And they all like look and sound amazing. And according to the comments on YouTube, their original choreographer is one of the backup dancers. Like the one who choreographed Abracadabra is like there. So it's like a real like everyone's still together kind of stage. And then it cuts to like very awkward, stuffy actors pretending like they don't care and like don't want to clap or have any fun. And it's like equal parts, like really fun. Like, look at the Brown Eyed Girls are still together, and like, man, actors are no fun at the same time.
God, actors are no fun. Okay, that is like not super related, but it is something I have noticed. I've watched several different stages of artists who have to go perform at these like stuffy ass actor awards, and the actors never react. Like I watched a video of Hyolyn performing Dolly.
Oh, that was like
at
so
what was
legendary.
essentially like the Korean Oscars, and all of the shots of everyone in the crowd is like so like every once in a while there's a very awkward golf clap, and they're just like so stone faced. Some of the women are like clutching their faces, and some of the men look like they want to die. And I don't know why they can't react in their actor awards.
I don't know.
Man, those fuddy-duddies.
They're fuddy-duddies, but it's a fun performance. So look that up if you want. That's all I have this week. Anything else you want to slip in before we plug in? Say
Nothing
goodbye?
else for the Brown Eyed Girls, since this episode is all about them.
All about them. But yeah, I had a really good time listening to all their music and watching all their videos, and I hope you all do the same. If you would like to tell us about your favorite Brown Eyed Girls video, or tell us anything at all, we can be found at AMA Kpop Pod on Twitter and Instagram, amakpoppod@gmail.com for emails. Our YouTube is Ask Me About K-Pop the podcast, and the playlist for this episode will be there, as well as playlists for other episodes. You can join our Discord. It's really popping off in there these days. There's a channel right now going on where one of our listeners made a 30-day song challenge with really funny daily song challenges, and another listener is compiling everybody's answers into daily playlists, and it's so intense, and I love everyone so much. So if you want to have fun K-pop friends, come join our Discord. Everyone is having fun in there all the time, I promise. And then if you want to give us a call, leave a voicemail, 181 AMA K-pop 5.
If you want to send us a letter or a package, support your local post office, you can write to us at AMAK. You can address it to one of us specifically, P.O. Box 26096, Los Angeles, California, 90026.
And yeah, I think that's all of the places that you can find us. I got a notification that my copy of Shine has shipped.
Me
So
too.
Everyone get ready.
Everyone get ready. I got that notification, and I also have an article bookmarked, which is called, where is it? K-pop star Jessica Young on using her life in her new novel. Dun,
Oh,
dun,
I can't
dun.
wait. I can't wait. I'm so
very
excited
to
y'all.
read that. It's from Time Magazine.
So exciting. All right, so we'll be back next week. I think we might have to wait a little bit for first book club to give us all time to read. So we'll find something fun to do
give
next
ourselves
week.
time. Yeah, we'll probably scroll through that episode discussion, suggestions, chat in the Discord.
Look for
something fun and simple.
Well, we'll see you then. Goodbye. Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.